Good morning, my dear students. How are you? I hope you are well and in a good health. Our lecture today is very simple and short, so please open your book, page 7. Open your workbook, page 7, and pay attention with me to start our lecture. Let's read together Mr. Smash's speech. Suddenly, the telephone rang noisily. Suddenly, the telephone rang noisily. You may know our lecture is about what? It's about adjective and adverb. Our lecture today is about adjective and adverb. Okay. Noisy is an adjective. Okay, what do we mean by adjective? Adjective is a word. Adjective is a word. Describes a noun. Adjective is a word. Describes a noun. Noisy here tells you about the telephone. It tells you something about the telephone. That this telephone is a noisy. This telephone is a noisy. Okay. A noisy telephone. A noisy telephone. Noisy is an adjective and telephone is a noun. Noisy is an adjective and tells you something about the noun telephone. A noisy telephone. A noisy telephone. Noisy means loud. Loud. صاخب أو مزعج. This telephone is noisy. A noisy telephone. Noisy is adjective and telephone is a noun. Noisy describes the telephone. Noisy is adjective and describes the noun, which is the telephone. Okay. Look at the ending of noisy. Look at the ending of noisy. As you see here, noisy, the word noisy ends with the letter Y. And we know that the letter Y is a consonant. It is not a vowel. Consonant حرف ساكن. Consonant letter حرف ساكن. Vowel letter حرف علة. But Y here is a consonant letter حرف ساكن. Noisy ends with consonant Y. Ends with the consonant Y. Okay. We can make the adjective noisy into an adverb. Adverb is a word describes a verb. An adjective is a word describes a noun. Adjective means صفة. صفة تستخدم لوصف الاسم. الاسم مثل هون noisy صفة استخدمت لوصف الاسم noun تليفون. adverb ظرف أو حال تستخدم لوصف الفعل الverb. adverb is a word describes a verb. توصف الفعل. توصف الفعل. أما الصفة توصف الاسم. adjective صفة. adverb ظرف أو حال. We can make noisy, the adjective noisy, into an adverb. It means that we can rewrite the adjective noisy in an adverb form. Okay, how? How can we rewrite the adjective noisy in an adverb form? Okay, by adding ly. By adding ly at the end of the adjective, we can rewrite the adjective in an adverb form by adding ly at the end of the adjective. Okay, what about like noisily, noisily, noisily? Okay, what about the y here? Where is the y in the word noisy? Noisy, it ends with y letter. Here, where is the y in the word noisy? This y is for the adverb. As we said, we add ly to rewrite the adjective in an adverb form. Where is the y here? The y for the adjective. It changes to I. It changes to I. This y in the word noisy changes to I. So when we have adjective ends with the letter y and we want to rewrite the adjective in an adverb form, this y will change to I. Okay. We said that the adjective describes a noun. A noisy telephone. This word noisy tells you about the telephone, that this telephone is noisy. It tells you something about the telephone. It describes the noun telephone. Okay, what about the adverb? The adverb tells you how the phone rang. How the phone rang. Rang is a verb, and we said before that the adverb describes a verb. The adverb describes a verb, and the adverb here will tell you something about how the telephone rang. How? The telephone rang noisily. The telephone rang noisily. How? The telephone rang. How the telephone rang. How the telephone rang. Noisily. Noisily. It rang noisily. It rang noisily. The telephone rang noisily. Okay. As we said, the letter Y or the consonant Y changes to I when we add ly to the adjective. It changes to Y. This Y changes to I when we add ly to the adjective. Okay, let's go to the question number 2 to understand the idea well. These adjectives also end with the consonant Y. We have adjectives here: funny, angry, pretty, heavy, greedy, lazy. These are adjectives. And these adjectives end with the consonant Y. This adjective ends with the consonant Y, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay? Write the adverb for each one. Write the adverb. We have here to rewrite these adjectives in an adverb form. How can we rewrite these adjectives in an adverb form? By adding ly and changing the letter y to I. Okay. Funny. Funny is an adjective. Funny means something makes you laugh. When someone tells you a joke, for example, you will laugh. Funny, مضحك. Funny, مضحك. مضحك. For example, here we have more examples. She told me a funny story. She told me a funny story. Funny here is an adjective. Story, it is a noun. And we said that the adjective describes a noun. Okay. How she told me this story. How? Funnily. Funnily. She told me this story funnily. How? She told me the story funnily. بطريقة مضحكة. She told me this story funnily. So, funny is an adjective and funnily is an adverb. We add ly and the consonant here, y, changes to I. Okay. The second adjective is angry. Angry is an adjective. Angry means غاضب أو غضبان. Okay, for example, the teacher is angry. The teacher is angry. The teacher shouted angrily at the children. The teacher shouted angrily. How the teacher shouted? How? How the teacher shouted. How the teacher shouted? Angrily. Angry is adjective and this adjective ends with the letter y. But when we rewrite this adjective in an adverb form, we add ly and this y changes to I. Angrily is an adverb, angry is an adjective. Okay. Pretty. The third adjective here is pretty. Pretty. She is a pretty girl. Pretty means beautiful. Pretty means beautiful. She is a pretty girl. It's like if I say she is a beautiful girl. Pretty is beautiful. Pretty means beautiful. She is a beautiful girl equal she is pretty girl. Okay, pretty is adjective and ends with the letter y. It ends with the consonant y. How she looks prettily. How she looks prettily. Prettily is an adverb. Ends with ly and the consonant y in an adjective changes to I. Prettily. Prettily. Okay. The fourth adjective here, heavy. Heavy means a great weight. ثقيل, a great weight. Okay. It is too heavy snow. It is too heavy snow. هون مو معناها ثقيل heavy. هلا heavy معناها إنه a great weight، إنه ثقيل، بس هنا معناها بهاي الجملة بغزارة، يعني it is too heavy snow، يعني الثلج غزير، الثلج غزير. heavy heavy is an adjective and ends with the consonant Y. Snow fell heavily outside. ساقط بغزارة الثلج. heavily heavily is an adverb. heavily we add ly at the end of the adverb and the consonant Y changes to I. heavily. Heavy is an adjective, and when we want to rewrite this adjective in an adverb form, we have to add ly, and this Y has to change to I. Okay. The fifth adjective here, greedy. He is a greedy businessman. Greedy means selfish. أناني. Greedy means selfish. He is a greedy businessman. How he looks. How he looks. Greedily. Here, how the snow fell. How snow fell outside. Heavily. How snow fell outside. Heavily. How he looks. Greedily. أناني. The last adjective here, lazy. He is a lazy boy. Lazy means كسول. Lazy means inactive. Active نشيط. Inactive غير نشيط. يعني lazy كسول. He is a lazy boy. How he looks. Lazily. Lazy is adjective and ends with the consonant Y. Lazily is an adverb and this consonant Y changes to I, and we have here ly. We add ly to rewrite this adjective in an adverb form. If we want to rewrite this adjective, lazy, in an adverb form, we have to add ly, and this consonant changes to I, lazily. So here, angry, angrily, pretty, prettily, heavy, heavily, greedy, greedily, lazy, lazily, funny, angry, pretty, heavy, greedy, lazy. These are adjectives, but funnily, angrily, prettily, heavily, greedily, lazily, these are adverbs.